Well, hello. Oh, it's so lovely to be here tonight. And yes, I did used to work on the radio. I worked on the radio for a long time. This is just how my voice comes out. My wife is totally used to it. When I get home tonight, I'll walk in the door. Hi, honey. Yeah, it's 5 minutes after the hour. 45 degrees outside, light to moderate traffic on the surface streets, and I'm home. Up next, we've got dinner, yoga pants, and an episode of Grey's Anatomy on Netflix. And stick around, I'll be whispering all your favorite sweet nothings all night long. And the request lines are open. Yeah, I had a great time working on the radio, but I got fired from a radio station when I came out of a Def Leppard song and said, now there's a band I'd give my left arm to be in. Okay, we have some Def Leppard fans over here. Def Leppard was a band. Kind of like Coldplay, but with frizzy hair, leather pants, and misogyny. And their drummer was in a terrible car accident, and he lost his left arm, right? But he could still drum, right? Which is amazing. And there is no one I would rather sit next to on an airplane, because you get that whole armrest to yourself. Does that make me a horrible person? No, okay, all right. When I was a kid, I always wanted to be a performer, and I took ventriloquist lessons. You look afraid already. No, don't worry. I did not bring a little friend with me. It's not that kind of show. But when I was a kid, I was already really good at the voice part, but bad at the puppetry part. So I just told everybody the dummy was paralyzed. That makes me a horrible person. No, the real reason that I don't do ventriloquism anymore is this voice does not work at little kids' birthday parties. Hello, children. Would you like to be my friend? The kids are all running away. Stranger danger! And the single moms are slipping me their phone numbers. Having my voice is kind of weird. If I get a phone call, I'm always afraid that they're going to think I'm a robot. Hello, this is Brian Atkinson. Thank you for calling. I can hear them pressing buttons. Operator! Talk to an operator! And then I have to call my mom back and tell her that I'm selling her a reverse mortgage. Yeah, my voice changed kind of weird too. Most guys go through the popping and squeaking phase. Not me. I was auditioning for the school musical, and I started the audition way up here, and it ended way down here. But for the rest of the year, I could call the school. Hello, this is Mr. Atkinson. Brian won't be at school today. And it worked great. The thing is, I was already working on the radio, and I was afraid that the radio bits would start to interfere with those phone calls just reflexively. Like, Brian won't be at school today because he was caller number 3. I sing. I love to sing. I sing bass, which is fun for me. But, I can't sing along with the radio. Just by applause, how many of you like to sing along with the radio? That's pretty good. How many of you rode with someone who likes to sing along with the radio? Yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, but I love The Police. That's a band. They're kind of like Coldplay, only with spiky hair, sting, and social awareness. Yeah. But their song, Every Breath You Take, gets really creepy really fast. I'll be watching you. And you don't want me to be the chaperone on your kids' school field trips. The wheels on the bus go round and round. And it's the worst at Christmas. Santa Claus is coming to town. He sees you when you're sleeping. I've done some very cool stuff with my voice over the years. I do some voiceover work, and I have a lot of fun doing that. I had an agent for a minute, and they sent me out on a project, and I got there and found out it was not for my voice. It was for modeling. I was also surprised. Yeah, I got there, they said, it's a modeling shoot. I'm like, you got the wrong guy. I'm like, no, it'll be fine. It's a catalog model. You definitely got the wrong guy. Like, no, it'll be fine. Put this t-shirt on. I put the t-shirt on. I look down. It says, everyone loves the big guy. And that's how I found out I was a plus-size model. I tried losing weight. You know, I've been working on my ab. Yep. But last year I lost 40 pounds. Thank you so much. I found it, don't worry. It was in the fridge the whole time. My wife and I have a cat, and now the veterinarian says the cat is overweight. Yeah, me too, cat. Yeah, no, the problem is the cat's getting too much people food. Yeah, me too, cat. So now the cat's on a special diet, senior cat formula and indoor cat formula. And I think they both taste terrible. But we've each lost 6 pounds. Quite honestly, it shows up a lot more on the cat. But my coat has never been so glossy. One of the very coolest things I ever did with my voice is I auditioned to be the PA announcer for the Chicago Cubs. Thank you. Yeah, I grew up in Chicago, so I'm a diehard Cubs fan. Wrigley Field is my favorite place in the world. And they invited, they had 2,500 people auditioned. They invited 25 people to come and be there in person. And I got to be one of them. I got to hear my voice ring out through the friendly confines. It was awesome. And when I got done, they took me down to Human Resources to make sure I knew a little something about baseball. They, you answer some questions here? Can you name a way that a player can get to first base? Sure, no problem. I got this. He can get a single, a walk, or base on balls. He can get hit by a pitch. There's an obscure way that if a catcher drops a third strike, it's called a passed ball, and he can actually steal first. But I think the one that everybody forgets about, dim the lights, open a bottle of wine. Put on some Coldplay. And you'll be on first base before you know it. I feel like I really missed out on the movie trailer voiceovers. Do you remember those? The In a World, In a Time? Oh, I would have been so good at that. And I want them to redo the Terminator, but with today's technology. And then I'll do the voiceover. In a world before Siri. In a time before Alexa, before Hey Google, it was always there, always waiting, always listening. Clap on, clap off, clap on, clap off. Awesome, good job. Everybody loves that joke except that one guy from Def Leppard, because, you know. I like to go shopping, but you have to be very careful. You remember being a kid and you're out shopping with your mom and you're holding her hand and then you look up and realize that's not your mom? Or worse, you're with your dad and you reach around and you grab your dad's leg and that's not your dad. My wife and I were out shopping over the holidays, and this woman walked up next to me. I'd never seen her before in my life. And I'm just looking at some stuff, and she says, "Did you get something for Brody?" Never seen her before in my life. I have no idea who Brody is. Like, I don't know who Brody is. She looks at me, realizes I'm not who she thinks she is, who I think she is, and she kind of skitters away real quickly. But at this point, I'm already all in. Does he like Lego? Like, I've never seen her before in my life, and already I'm responsible for Brody. I'm gonna need a paternity test, is what I'm saying. I do think that I give off some, Brody's dad energy, BDE. And I'm at another place shopping. My wife and I were in Frankenmuth. You know what they've got there? Yeah. Oh, Frankenmuth in the house. Woo! All right, yeah. And we're shopping, and I was just looking at something. This woman walks up to me. Never seen her before in my life. She says, "Did you even hear me?" Apparently, I have a face that women want to question. I kind of look back at her, deer in the headlights. She's like, "Did you even hear me?" Then she realizes I'm not who she thinks she is. I keep saying that wrong. I'm not who she thinks I am. She walks around me where there's another guy about my height, gray beard, similar color clothes, walks up to him. "Did you even hear me?" He looks at me, I look at him. Yeah, we know. Yeah. Now, my wife loves to read, and we were at a bookstore. And I'm going to be honest, she's there in her section, in the romance section. I wander around, I make a few laps, I come back, and I find her looking at something on the bottom shelf. She's all bent over. I take a quick look around, and I goose her. And it's a good one. Both hands and a honk. And then, this woman I've never seen before in my life stands up. And she looked upset. "Who do you think you are? I'm Brody's dad." What? Did you even hear me? Yeah. Well, my name is Brian. It's very simple for most people. It's just B-R-I-A-N. There's no stupid sometimes Y in there. But every day I get a text or an email and somebody spells my name wrong and it comes across like part of the human anatomy. Brain, thank you for playing. Yeah. Yeah, Brain, every day. And if they spell my name wrong, I figure I get to spell their name wrong, so I write back. "Thanks, liver." "Sure thing, spleen." And then my friend Bob, I spell his name with 2 O's. I call him Bobo. What? Oh, no, no. Yeah. I grew up adopted, and that's not unusual, but I was adopted twice. The first one didn't take. Yeah, they returned me. It's just like going to Amazon. Let's see. Wrong color, wrong size. Ah, defective. There it is, yeah. Yeah, it was like returning entree to the kitchen that my mom thought was too spicy. I'd love to say that I'm the Kung Pao chicken of adoption. But my family is so white, they think tap water is spicy. Oh, you can really taste the fluoride, yeah. Yeah, give it up for adoption. Woohoo, give it up for adoption. That's what they said to my mom. Give it up for adoption, because, you know. Yeah. My parents were not good at being parents, but worse was the kids at school actually made fun of me for being adopted. Brian, why do you go home after school? You don't have a real family. You're adopted. So mean, right? Well, I was a horrible person even then. You know, at least my parents wanted me. Yours had to take whatever popped out. And my parents were not good at being parents, but they did take me to church every Sunday, and I'm really thankful that they did because that's where I got my first really big laugh. You guys remember the pantyhose company, Legs, with the plastic egg? When I was about 5 years old, there was a commercial that I'd seen on TV where a kid speaks out at an inappropriate moment. And on this one particular Sunday, it was my mom's turn to read scripture. And as she's walking up to the front, I remember that television commercial. That's my mommy, the one with the wrinkly pantyhose. And it killed. Waves of laughter washed over me. I had never felt anything like it. I had never felt so alive. Until we got to the car. Later on in life, my adoption story got a lot better. When I was in my 30s, I was reunited with my biological family, and in my 40s, my biological mother adopted me back. Every comedian's dream, right there. Aww. No, it's awesome. We have a great relationship. I get to see them. We talk on the phone sometimes. We have a great time. And I have a whole family now that I never knew I had. It's fantastic. The weird thing is that my mom lives in Mississippi, and that's where they did all the paperwork. And they used the paperwork date as my new birth date. So I have a Mississippi birth certificate that says I'm 13 years old. Or as they say in Mississippi, time to settle down. It's kind of cool being 13. My wife says my body is going to start going through some strange and wonderful changes. I told her if my voice drops again, she's not going to be able to hear me. She said that'd be okay. I found out my whole family is super smart. My mom is a nurse practitioner, so she has a master's degree. My dad is a PhD in finance. My aunt is a PhD MD, so she's a doctor. My uncle's an attorney. My cousin and her husband are both PhDs. My other cousin and his wife are both Chinese translators. My youngest brother is a teacher with a master's degree headed toward his PhD, and my other brother and his wife both have PhDs in computer science. And I'm a comedian. And sometimes I feel badly that I'm the only one who likes his job. My whole family, they all live in the deep South, and although my folks grew up in the Chicago suburbs, that's where I grew up and where they gave me up for adoption, I worked hard at losing my Chicago accent for the radio, so the only word I've got left is Chicago, the name of the city. But my dad, he's been in the Deep South so long, you can't tell he was ever a Yankee, except when he makes gumbo, and it's only one word. Let's see if you can spot it. All right, now when you make the gumbo, you got to get your celery, your onions, and your peppers. That's the Holy Trinity. Make that into a roux, put some bay leaves in there, some Creole seasoning, and then you got to get yourself some sausage. Sorry, Dad, what was that? Yeah, you got to have some andouille sausage. That's the most Chicago word of all time. Yeah, getting to know my family and the way they speak, when they pronounce my name, they don't say brain, they all have PhDs. No, when it comes out for them, it would be spelled B-R-I-I-I-I-N. Brian. I can't tell if they're making a turkey or a batch of pickles in brine. The first time I ever talked to one of my brothers on the phone, I called the house and he answered, hello? Hello, David? Oh, hi, Brian, we just talked about you. A friend of mine just had a baby. We're going to hop it. I'm going to take a look at it. Could I talk to Mom? Mom, I think David's having a stroke. Honestly, I thought I'd called that guy Boomhauer from King of the Hill. Yeah. The thing is, he's a teacher. He can speak clearly. He teaches petroleum science. Every day he's up in front of his classroom. All right, now today, class, we're going to talk about propane and propane accessories. Okay, King of the Hill fans over here. Okay, got it. Yeah, he's the whole cast of King of the Hill is what I'm saying, yeah. Yeah, but when I finally got to meet my other brother, my two brothers together, we were looking through the photo albums that they had, because I didn't grow up with them, they didn't grow up with me. And we start looking, and I start cracking jokes, because that's what I do. Oh, you don't have any of me. My one brother goes, wouldn't it be creepy if we did? And that's how I knew I had real family. Oh, that's yummy. Before I go any further, I have a couple of things. Have we established I'm a horrible person? Yeah. Excellent. Okay. After the show, I've got a couple of things. I've got stickers that say I'm a horrible person. You can apply those where you like. I've got these cards with a QR code to make it easier for you to find and follow me on social media. I got some little stands up there so you can just walk by with your phone, scan it, boop, done. And if those stickers aren't enough for you, horrible person on a t-shirt. There you go. Yeah, those are $25. Again, they'll be back there. The stickers are $3 or $5 for those. Or, you know, if you just want to throw me some cash, that'd be fine too. I'd appreciate it. But with the t-shirts, I can take PayPal or Venmo or cash, and any of that would be wonderful. Thus ends the merch pitch of the evening. Thank you very much for your kind attention. No. Well, all right, come on. Yeah, I feel very fortunate. I've been able to do some traveling for this job, but my wife and I also like to travel, and we've taken two really big trips over the last nearly 11 years of marriage. First trip that we took of those two was we'd been sitting in our backyard on the deck, reading books, eating snacks, drinking drinks, and then we got on a plane and we went to Jamaica. We sat by the pool and the beach, reading books, eating snacks, drinking drinks. But the drinks came in coconuts or pineapples with umbrellas sticking out of them for $3,000 more, so it was totally worth it. We were sitting in the restaurant one time, and I don't know, they had this salsa. I don't know how else to describe it. It was definitely red, tomato-based kind of thing, but it was kind of sweet. It wasn't chunky like a Mexican salsa, and it was good on everything. I had to ask the server, what is this? It was, it's ketchup, man. I'm like, ketchup, man. Got it. All right. So I have been looking at all the international grocery stores in town, and I have not been able to find it. So I ask you, please, if you find some ketchup, man, out there, hit me up, let me know where you find it so I can get some, because it was amazing. It was fantastic. Yeah, I don't know how you guys feel about traveling with the TSA and everything, but I think they work so hard, I say hats off to them. Also, jacket, shoes, belt. Yeah. Here's a pro tip. You put everything you own in the conveyor belt and runs it through the x-ray machine. If you're quick enough, you run around to the other side and grab the next person's stuff, you get a whole new wardrobe for your trip. The other big trip that we went on, we went to Mexico, and I love traveling because I learned so many things, and the big thing that I learned in Mexico is I do not speak Spanish. I speak Spanish, hola, ¿dónde está el baño? Where's the bathroom? That's important. Yeah, you need that one. Yeah, but the big thing that I learned there was that I just got so curious about the culture, and one night there was a party going on, and all of the servers in the resort were wearing these blue, sparkly fedoras. I'm like, fedora. I want to learn that word in Spanish. So now I know the word for shoe, so I say to the server, zapatos, shoe, ¿qué es esto? What is that? And I tap his blue, sparkly fedora. And he looks at me like I'm loco. Sombrero, hat. El idiot. I thought sombrero was, that hat. I didn't know it was all the hats. So I looked it up when I got home. The Spanish for fedora is fedora. Yeah, it's a public service announcement for you there. Yeah, I had fish tacos for the first time. I honestly didn't know they came in flavors. We cannot let this get back to the Oreo cookie people. They have too many flavors. They've got regular Oreos, chocolate Oreos, mint Oreos, lemon Oreos, cinnamon Oreos. They've got regular stuff, thin stuff, more stuff, s'more stuff, and cookies and cream stuff. That's right. They made an Oreo-flavored Oreo. They've got Oreos for March Madness, for the Olympics, the Super Bowl. They've got them for Christmas, Easter, Thanksgiving. They've got them for Halloween and 4th of July. Did you see the Independence Day Oreos? Yeah, you got Pop Rocks in this stuff. Remember Pop Rocks? Pour them in your mouth. It's like fireworks on your tongue. Let's be honest. Pop Rocks are really only good for entertaining 13-year-old boys. And me when I put them in the cat's litter box. Yeah, I think we also got to keep this away from the Girl Scout cookie people. Have you guys seen your dealer yet? Yeah? Yeah, I have to be so careful with those, with the Thin Mints. I got to be sure to only eat them one sleeve at a time. Yeah. I don't have any jokes about Girl Scout cookies. I love them. That was just kind of a tag-along. Oh, you want some more? All right. All right. This Halloween, I found out that they released a new monster for the Monster cereals. You remember those? The Count Chocula, Frankenberry, Boo Berry. You had Fruit Brute, Yummy Mummy. And this year, for the first time ever in 35 years of Monster cereals, they came out with a woman monster, Carmella Creeper. It's caramel apple flavored. She's a zombie and a working DJ. Now, let me get this straight, General Mills. You finally let a woman into the club and she's got to have a side hustle? I don't know if you guys caught this. I live on the northeast side of town, and at that Meijer, they were testing another female monster for the Monster cereals. It's the most terrifying monster of all. Basic white girl cereal. Yeah, it was pumpkin spice flavored. And the marshmallows were hazelnut. I'm just holding out for the millennial monster cereal. Avocado toast flavor, Yeah. I always try to give these companies, marketing ideas. I try to come up with stuff and send them information. And the one I came up with for Imodium was, do yourself a solid. They haven't responded. But have you guys seen the Charmin commercials with the cartoon bears? And they're arguing in the bathroom about who left their underwear on the floor? They're not wearing clothes. Apparently Goldilocks wears tighty-whities. But what was Charmin thinking? Do cartoon bears use Charmin in the woods? And cartoon bears are not known for their pants. Winnie the Pooh, red t-shirt, no pants. Yogi Bear, hat, collar, necktie, no pants. Paddington Bear, rain hat, galoshes, raincoat, no pants. That got really creepy. Yeah. I just got myself some new underwear. Well, new to me. shopping at Goodwill. If you have been donating your underwear to Goodwill, knock it off. Go to Meijer, get yourself a 12-pack of Tidy Whities, and donate that. Let's be honest. The term Tidy Whities isn't quite accurate, because they're rarely tight. And they're never white. Especially at Goodwill. I have found that there's a number of people out there who are afraid of clowns. And that's cool if that's what you're afraid of. I'm not here to pick on you or anything. But it's hard for me to understand to some degree because I think you got to have a really good reason to be afraid of clowns. I think I've got some good reasons. I grew up in the area where John Wayne Gacy was working. Now, if you don't know who that is, he was a serial killer who worked as a birthday party clown to select his victims from the kids. And I was exactly his type. But my parents protected me. They made sure I never had a birthday party. Never had birthday presents, birthday cake, never had to play that sadistic pin the tail on the donkey game. No, the game we played was try to earn our love. I could understand people being afraid of Ronald McDonald because when I turned 50, I went to the doctor and found out that all his clowning around had brought me prediabetes, obesity, and a healthy respect for big shoes. But if you're going to be afraid of something in McDonald land, the clown, okay, sure. But what about the guy with the giant cheeseburger for a head? And he's the mayor. And then you don't want to bring that to the police there or anything, because that's also a guy with a giant cheeseburger for a head. I don't like getting older. It's been rough on me. I've had 2 back surgeries, so my lower back looks like I got a tramp stamp from Dr. Frankenstein. I figured out I was getting older the other day. I like to have a little dish of ice cream before I go to bed at 9:30. And I just don't think things through like I used to. So the ice cream flavor that I chose was coffee ice cream. And coffee ice cream is the international flavor of getting older. Coffee ice cream is like driving 54 miles an hour on the expressway in the left lane with your blinker on. Coffee ice cream is like having a little dish of unwrapped hard candy on the table next to the sofa. The candy isn't wrapped in plastic, but the seat cushions are. And I have 1 cup of coffee every morning. I can't have 2 cups because I can't handle the caffeine. And it didn't occur to me that the coffee ice cream contained, coffee. So I had my little dish of caffeinated ice cream and went to bed, yes, at 9:30. I went right to sleep, and then I woke up at midnight and laid there wide awake for the next 5.5 hours with my CPAP on the entire time. Yes, I have a CPAP too. If you don't know what that is, I sleep with a snorkel that blows 35-mile-an-hour wind up my nose so that I don't choke to death on my tongue in the middle of the night. I'm always a little uncomfortable about how many people laugh at the idea of me choking to death in the middle of the night. Well, I found out I had sleep apnea when my brother and I took a guy's trip. We shared a hotel room, and the next morning, I wake up, and he's staring at me. Like, dude, you stop breathing a lot. You need to see a doctor about this. Okay, so I saw a doctor. I got a sleep study. They wire you up like Frankenstein's monster with the neck bolts and everything. They said, we're going to let you sleep about half the night. and then we'll wake you up, we'll give you something to help you breathe and see how you do with that. Okay. I go right to sleep, and they woke me up after 45 minutes. We have all the data we need. We can't ethically let you keep sleeping that way. Here's your CPAP. I put the CPAP on, and I went to sleep, and I slept through the whole night and woke up in the next morning feeling rested? Is that how people are supposed to feel in the morning? I was so amazed, I called my ex-wife and asked her if she ever noticed. Oh, yeah. You stopped breathing a lot. She noticed. She knew. She never said anything. Every time she went to suffocate me with a pillow, I had already stopped breathing. Oh, please. Oh, please. I spend way too much time on the internet. I don't know about you guys. This is the choose your own adventure portion of the evening. So I'm going to give you two choices. The really dark ending or the not as dark ending. So, by applause, who wants to hear the not as dark ending? Okay, all right. By applause, who wants to hear the really dark ending? So I spend way too much time on social media. You know how the ads are supposed to reflect things that you like? You know? I'm pretty sure that Facebook thinks I'm really into candle making. They keep sending me ads for Brazilian wax. But here's the question. How long do you wait to unfriend someone on social media after they die? Do you wait a day? A week? During the funeral? Or you could do what I did. Someone I've known almost my entire life passed away, and I didn't unfriend them on social media right away. And then a few months later, I did what I do every year. I wished them a happy birthday. And many more. And then his daughter slid into my DMs. Hey, sorry to tell you, my dad passed away last year. Then what do? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that the man who raised you, who taught you how to ride a bike, who walked you down the aisle at your wedding, isn't having any more birthdays. Or you could just say what I did. Whoops. And then she's all like, weren't you at the funeral? As a pallbearer? Uncle Brian? Yeah. You know how they have on Facebook, there's neighborhood groups, and then there's like the Nextdoor app. You guys do that at all? So I have learned that my name Brian peaked the year I was born. There were more people named Brian the year I was born than any other year. And for girls, the same year, it was Karen. And if your name is Karen, I'm sorry. We have been taking your name in vain. It is not okay, and I'm sorry. I met someone named Karen the other day. I started to apologize to her. She stopped me, corrected me. Of course she did. She said, no, Brain. My name is Karen, but I'm not a Karen. In fact, I spell my name C-A-R-Y-N. Oh, Karen. You're the carrotest Karen who's ever Karened. You're such a Karen that when your parents named you, you asked to speak to a manager. The other thing I've learned in these neighborhood groups is people lose a lot of pets. They are not good at keeping track of their pets. The other day, Jenny lost her chicken because apparently chickens are pets now. Well, I'm a horrible person. I couldn't help myself. I wrote back, "Hey, Jenny, have you looked on the other side of the road?" I've heard they've been known to cross over from time to time. I don't know why. My whole life there's that question, why did the chicken? Why did the chicken? But nobody ever asks, how is the chicken? It's delicious. If your pet chicken dies, do you have it cremated with 11 herbs and spices? Or do you just bury it in the backyard in an Instapot with a lemon shoved up its butt? How did your pet chicken die? It was battered. You guys have been absolutely tremendous. Thank you for coming out tonight.